It's Joy News Desk. We're live here, and let me just quickly introduce to you those that I have with me digesting this whole issue of number 12, the latest Anas documentary. Hans Ando has been here. He's my colleague here at Multimedia. And then, of course, we're being joined by a former sports minister, Nii Lante. It's good to have you. Thank you for being here.
Thank
and
you.
George Adu Jr. is here as well. I have to come to you, Honorable. You watched this yesterday. I remember one person who tried to fight head-on the GFA. I think he lasted more than any other minister in that ministry.
Are you sure?
I think so.
I'm not sure.
So, but what's your whole feeling afterward? George, I'm correct, right?
10 months.
I mean, he has only 16 left. I mean, you're talking about the fight. I was there for only 10 months, actually.
Yeah, only 10 months.
Probably should have been there.
Yeah. So what's your whole overview? What you watched?
Marvin, let me say this. I wasn't surprised about what we saw yesterday. Let me say I was expecting more than this, because I, to some extent, think that we should have even gone further. There are aspects of our international matches. I even want us to go further to all the friendly matches we've played, the international friendlies we've played, the national team matches and all this, and we'll have seen the depth of corruption. Yesterday, one thing that made me happy was the fact that I said it in this studio and on your network, that Ghana football has been managed with the principle of the cow dung methodology in management. The surface look good, but beneath is all worms. What Nii Lante and his people did was a very clever thing. Make sure Ghanaians are happy we're qualifying for the World Cup. Let's do everything we can do. Use every means, foul or legitimate means, and qualify for the World Cup. Once we qualify for the World Cup, Ghanaians will be happy. Everybody will be happy. And then we can still be there and do whatever we want to do. The system was cultivated in a way, it was nurtured in a way that individuals around Nii Lante and Nii Lante himself will become the symbol of success of Ghana football. 2, let us thrive, and then let's put all others behind. And they did that cleverly with the way they ran the game. The national team was their perspective, was their interest. Domestic football, nothing. They succeeded in killing all our coast teams and snatch all their players into their academies, private academies, so that they can sell them, so that they will continue to entrench themselves. Nii Lante himself was able to make sure that he has his people and puppets at the regional level, at the district level, so that continually he will perpetuate himself in authority. And I said this and said it. And Ghanaians were not saying it because all of us sitting here will agree that it was like Nii Lante was the best thing that ever happened to football. Any other person was bad.
But backtrack to when he first, occupied this position.
Yeah.
Everybody said he was really good.
Is he?
And everybody will say he started off well.
When I say people think that I have something against our football, but I know, as far as documentations on our classified payments and indemnity and all this are concerned, I know that in most of the matches that we played to even qualify for World Cup, we paved our way through. Yes, we did.
What does that mean?
In football parlance, we call it ways and means. We use ways and means to go through those matches. And so...
And who pays? Is it the government? Is it the ministry?
You and I, up to today, George and the rest have been able to find out what the meaning of unclassified payment is. Am I lying?
As in, you sign off. So, Nii Lante, you're saying that you signed off documentations like that, and you didn't have the opportunity to question.
I didn't sign up. I decided that I was never going to pay any of those amount of monies, and I did it.
And so
that's why they were
presenting him with a blank budget.
Yeah, yes. So they decided they present with a blank budget that I should fill in the figures myself. They bring the cost items, put in the figures yourself, what you agree with. Because in the past, when they submit it, you have no right to question. All that you have to do is to look for the money and give it to them. And it was affecting the other disciplines. Because the budget of the ministry was so small that 1-2 blaster matches take away everything.
I'm sure we'll continue with this angle, but I want us to look at the statement that the GFA released this morning. George, you're familiar with this. Can you take us through?
Okay, well, and I hope that Hans, you will be still encouraged to do Ghana football. We don't continue enjoying the UEFA Champions League and all that. This is a statement that is coming a morning after a crazy night when we have seen that Anna's expose. The Ghana Football Association's attention has been drawn to the airing of a documentary by Tiger Eye PI alleging acts of corruption by some match officials and senior officials of the Federation. Let me get to the hit point. The GFA was not provided with an opportunity to watch the premiering of the documentary, as it was neither provided with an advance copy of the said documentary nor furnished with tickets by the Tiger Eye PI to watch the airing. I'll tell you where Hans Andor was sitting yesterday and those who were sitting around him. Now, to this end, we believe it's only fair and proper that the Tiger Eye furnishes us with the aid document or with the said documentary, and hereby request Tiger Eye as a matter of urgency to furnish us with all recorded material on this documentary to enable us forward it to appropriate quarters for further investigations. So clearly, this is what they're looking at. The GFA wishes to emphasize that its association is incorporated under the laws of Ghana and as such governed by the laws of Ghana as well as its own rules and regulations. It's also affiliated to CAF and FIFA. We are still working with FIFA Integrity Department to find the appropriate dates for action to help us educate our members on dangers of the menace. And the menace they're talking about is they felt 8 months ago they got evidence of some external influences seeking to manipulate matches in various Now it says that the GFA will subsequently be undertaking a holistic review and continue with the reforms geared towards the enhancement of its operations and dealing with alleged acts of corruption. We urge the football fraternity and here to remain calm and provide us with support we need as we bid to restore confidence and trust in our beautiful game. Signed, Isaac Addo, General Secretary.
Hang on, I'm gonna come around to you and get your take. But who is Isaac Addo?
Isaac is the General Secretary.
Mama,
I don't want to say the General Secretary. Okay, you go ahead.
Mama,
I need because he's not
immediately I saw this. I said, what is the locus of Isaac? He's been banned by FIFA.
FIFA, yes.
You understand? That is all. Nyantechi want people who will always do his bidding at the FA. So this boy has brought so much embarrassment to this country.
How?
Internationally. Isaac knows. He was involved in some sexual assault. Yeah. Is it in Equatorial Guinea? Equatorial Guinea. And FIFA took very serious view of that and banned him.
So he's been banned?
Yes.
So if somebody has been banned by FIFA, how can Ghana still hold that person as our general secretary? The general secretary of football federations are actually the administrators of the game in those countries.
Okay. Has he ever issued a statement?
He continues to issue statements.
Okay. So now let me just continue with you, Nii Lante van der Poel. What's your take after hearing the statements? Granted that the person who signed off the statement is one who's been banned by FIFA. The only thing I would tell
Ghanaians is to dismiss this statement with the content it deserves. We don't need this statement. We don't because this statement means nothing to us. The roadmap we are talking about, they started this roadmap 2014. 2014, I remember very well, Wagner wrote to us and told us what to do as a country. And 2014, they announced exposé between 2016 and 2007. You, the FA president yourself, you were not adhering to the principles of the integrity this thing of the. So why this statement today?
Hans,
he was on television. He was on television, and he came out and said every Ghanaian who has evidence of corruption within the game should come forward with it, and the person will have 20,000 Ghana cedis. Is it dollars or cedis?
20,000 Ghana cedis.
Ghana cedis. Meanwhile, he himself was presiding over that.
I want to get your take, Hans.
So first of all, just to make it clear, when he says that we are going to review and we're not going to cover up anybody, what they are seeking to do is run this whole process through the Ghana Football Association ethics.
They want to be judges within their own.
I can't believe that.
That's a point I'm about to make. First of all, from what we saw in the video, FIFA has this principle of non-interference, especially when it has to do with politics and politicians, or government, if you like. From what we saw in the video, we see Kwesi Nyantakyi seemingly very much aligned with the government of the game.
Willingly speaking.
You understand me?
Oh, yes.
And so right there, he sort of compromises that principle, that guiding principle. For me, I think it's enough basis for the country to petition FIFA and say that, first of all, this guy has to be out of the place. What remains of the Ghana Football Association cannot be trusted because, like Honorable Van der Poel alludes, these are people who agrees with everything Kwesi Nyantakyi. As a people, I don't think that we can trust anybody or any committee within the FA setup to do anything about this situation. I think we need to move it beyond the Ghana Football Association. Let's get our evidence. Let's petition FIFA. Let's have the FA dissolved.
When you say let's petition FIFA, who does it?
Ghana government.
But just real quick before I come to you, George, because George makes reference of the people seated by you yesterday as you were viewing this. So who were they?
Those who say they are yet to see the premier. When were they? I would say, I'll make it a point that even Sani Jara on the Sports Link 3 weeks ago described the scenario that's right in there.
Okay, so
how did you see that?
So
why do you come and tell us you are yet to be given?
Good point. What we saw in the video of match officials taking sums of money and then influencing games, for me, I think that we have no basis to continue. There is no reason why we have to continue playing the Ghana Premier League. Let's stop right where we are.
So you're with those who believe the league should be suspended.
Because which match officials are going to appoint? Okay. If I get into the studio and run by viewers results of matches from the Ghana Premier League, I'm sure you know what the reactions are going to be from their various homes.
I don't think you're going to do that. Sir.
Okay, George, your take on
I don't think you're going to run any Ghana Premier League match results from now. Hold on. I'm not being too radical. I am so disappointed.
No, but why shouldn't you be radical?
We're done with round one of the league.
Just to make this point. Now, why won't I be comfortable with any setup in the FA to deal with this? Is this. The FA, through the executive committee and other committees, have made the position of the Ghana Football Association president too powerful because they are tampered with a lot of things enshrined in the constitution. That's why today the president can appoint a vice president. The president can go ahead to have an emergency committee. The president can do just anything he wants to do, and they have gone along with all of this. These kind of things, statements, all they're telling us, and their reaction is only confirming to us there is nothing good there anymore. So we need to move on from there. He's talking about petition FIFA. I would not even mind an interim body now to take over the FA.
Who makes that call?
Anybody who's not in the system. I think it's important now.
Mama V, what people should not just look at this and think that we can just handle this with a finesse. It gets to a time you have to do the wrong thing for the right reason. It gets to a time you have to use a radical approach.
What's that radical approach?
Let me tell you, if we had won the elections, together with Yoko and our secretary agencies, we're going to pin Nyantakyi on the 11th of January.
As in the NDC?
2017, yes. Because we've gone back, we've done a check on all the international friendly matches we've played, the understatement of the amounts that were paid to Ghana. In some matches, they say we didn't play for free when we're actually giving money. So we had so much. We even had so much under the white paper of the Jamepe Commission, which was not in contention in court, to virtually prosecute.
But you mentioned Iyoko, so they carried out some form of investigations at Iyoko.
Yes.
On this.
Yes. Let me tell you something. What we need to do today is for the government, through the Ministry of Youth and Sports. The Ghana Football Association is not wholly autonomous. It depends on funding from government. The monies that are given to Ghana Football Association is not for their own personal use. It's given to Ghana as an affiliated member of FIFA for the development of the game in the name of Ghana. So they hold that money in trust of Ghana. I'm saying that what we need to do today is to dissolve the whole GFA as soon as possible, get an interim arrangement there, and make sure we have early elections to elect new people to administer football in this country.
Okay, so Hans and George, we're done with round one, if you like, of the Premier. When is it supposed to come back? Per the calendar that we have.
What the BBC is going to be showing. And I think the BBC has gone.
No, I'm talking about our own Ghana
Premier League.
Yes.
I don't know. That's because I'm so much in that.
When is it coming? When are we supposed
we're
to?
not being too sure because the FA had said, the PLB had said, we're going to clear outstanding games before they decide when it's going to come. So maybe probably August, July.
Follow up. We know that recently we got a sponsor on board.
If I'm a financier of the league, I will withdraw tomorrow. Because I cannot allow my brand to be associated with this.
Okay, so that's exactly the question that I was going to ask. Do we expect the new sponsor to stay with the league?
I think a new sponsor must begin to look into this. If the new sponsor doesn't look into this and really clear its head, they might be dragged into this as well. Because this investigation took place within the last 3 years. I don't know what different it would have been. I'm not too sure these companies wouldn't have popped out. All of these things that was done in this one.
But the new sponsor even also came into the fray.
Yeah,
because the whole agreement that was signed,
clause now.
yes, was shrouded in mystery.
The uniqueness of the situation has also presented something new here on Newsdeck. So we're activating the phone lines because this is about all of us. Michael is already on the line. He joins us live. Michael, good morning. Thanks for calling. Let's hear you real quick.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, Michael.
Mama V, there's this thing I think Ghanaians should know. Earlier, it's been said that the media men were not helping the system. I think you made that point, and you were right. If I'm sorry to say, the TV3 can be of help. The day Ishmaeli's issue came up on online with the DIU's inclusion to the squad, I practically had talks with some of the players. I don't want to mention their names for their own safety. Eventually, I got Michael Oti on the show, and I told him that this is a corrupt act that was ongoing. And Michael, in his own bid, told me openly, and I was shocked to the bone, that we should all keep quiet. We can't blame anybody with any corrupt allegations or whatever until they go for the World Cup and then come back. And should they win, it means there's nothing like corruption in there.
Okay, so Michael, this conversation you were saying you had with Michael, was it on air?
It was on air. That's what I'm saying. If TV3 can do us a favor, they can scoop their archives on that program.
Okay,
it should be there.
So what's your points in relation to what we've seen?
My point here is that, interestingly, Ado and his
and Hans
cohort, some of them are doing their work. Others too are not. They are supporting this corrupt officials in GFA. I don't want to reveal my identity for now, but I've asked that I speak to Ado
after the show. All right, so let's do that. Thank you very much, Michael, for calling. Let's see if we have somebody else joining us. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Oh, hi, Lukman. You're on air. Let's hear you.
I think this expose is a vindication of Suleiman Tari, Calvin Mwate, and Honorable Nii Lante. I am not a politician. I am a social commentator based in Upper Western. You see, we need to appreciate the fact that Kofi Nyanteki has made up GFA. That's why the fact that he can be described as one of the celebrated sports presidents we ever had. Having he said that we went to the World Cup 3 times. But nonetheless, Ghana is beyond an individual parading himself in the way. How many sports ministers have survived there? This is an issue that the GFA taxes, leadership taxes, have not been helping the country. So I am of the view that we need to go the Nigerian way. FIFA can ban us for the next 5 years so that we'll get our sport on track.
Okay.
Not our football loving. But they have made up the system that we don't have any integrity and reputation.
We have to leave it there, Lukman.
A radical approach. That's just the way forward. We must go. We should stop the politics.
All right, Lukman. Thank you very much, Lukman. Let's speak to Dauda. Hello, Dauda. You're on air.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dauda.
Please, I want to thank your station for the good work that you people are doing. Okay. Hello?
Yes, Dauda, you're still on. Please do it quickly for us.
But I want to suggest that I think after this you should look at the juvenile football in Ghana. You should look at the juvenile football in Ghana equally, and then you watch the lower division, like under 17, under 20. You don't have money, you can't be part of it. And Ghana, if your parents are not rich, forget to play football. That is what happens. You go to a coach, and then the coach will be asking you who is your manager. Does manager plays football?
Thank you, Delda. Let's hear from Francis. Francis is calling from Accra. Francis?
Yes.
Please go ahead, you're on air.
I want to just say this. What are we doing as Ghanaians? Are we sitting down for this thing to happen? Do you want people to die before? We they go the GFA there. We they go sport there. We are up.
Well, hang on, Francis. Explain yourself. Why you say you're going to the GFA? You and who?
Oh, my people. We are so angry. Yesterday, I've never been angry in my life like what I saw yesterday on TV. I'm so angry, and then if I see the youth in the hall watching this program with their hands on their head.
So first of all, Francis, calm down. You want to go on a demonstration, that's fine, but you've got to calm down first. Thank you very much for calling. Let's speak to Adams, who's also on the line. Hello, Adams. Adams is calling from Asimfosu. Adams, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, Adams. Good morning. You're on air. Let's hear you.
Yeah. I want to find out if you are a GFA president and you've been found to be in this criminal activity.
Okay, wait, hang on. We can't say quote unquote criminal yet. So let's take that out and please continue.
Okay. What I'm saying is there shouldn't be anybody referred to as GFA in this country. We should dissolve the whole GFA and then let the ministry take over. And then from there, we can see what to do. Okay. And I will plead with Ghanaians that let us support any move by the government of the day in order to deal away with this so-called corruption in the GFA.
All right.
That's what I want to say.
Thank you very much. Abdul Razak is in Tamale. Abdul Razak, good morning. Let's hear you, please. Abdul Razak, you're on air. Hello? Okay, we don't seem to hear Abdul Razak, but I guess this is where we probably would have to leave it.
Just a quick one. Yeah. Just a quick one. I know you're trying to restrain and you're trying to keep it whole, not say don't say criminal, don't say anything. But I don't know if I meet an FA president, and the FA president is able to come up with companies. He's already said investigations have proven that those companies have his address, bank details, and everything of companies and bank details of things that are already in the system. Please. Look, I want to be. I'm because she's a good friend. I'm not going overboard.
No, we're not going. We're not going personal. That's not what we're doing. The point is, we watched a documentary and we're discussing what we saw in that documentary.
So we're discussing.
Let's come to the possible actions that could be taken following what we've all seen. So let's move forward with that. But before you come in, Hans, let me go back to the phone lines and speak to Diku from Wa. Hello, Diku.
Hello, Mama V.
Yes, I can hear you. Thanks for calling.
Thank you to my sister.
Please go ahead.
Yes. In fact, I was totally shocked over what I saw yesterday. Yes. In fact, I want to first of all thank God and Anas for exposing these corrupt individuals in Ghana. Mama V, I hope you remember very well when Fifi Anka wept.
Hello?
I suggest that the government should immediately make sure that they dissolve GFA and make sure that all those corrupt individuals are brought to book.
Okay. We'll speak to our last caller, Jeremiah from Zaboba. Okay, Jeremiah, let's hear you. You're on air.
Good morning, Mama V.
Good morning, Jeremiah. Please go ahead.
I want to dove my heart out for Honorable Nii Lante Van der Boy. I can imagine that all this money was in GFA. All these activities of money snatching and all that was going on in the FA. And Nii Lante was every day wrestling against them, fighting them here and here because of money issues. I think Nii Lante is a saint in Ghana. But I think that not just GFA should be dissolved. The whole Ghana should be dissolved. This issue does not touch only the GFA. It touches the president, it touches the vice president, it touches ministers and all that. I think Ghana should be dissolved.
All right, Thank Jeremiah, we will leave it here. Thank you very much. Okay, so now I am on you.
Right.
You've seen it, and in wrapping up, what should happen?
Okay, so now we are talking reforms, possibly. One of the things that a lot of us have said has to do with this whole autonomy about the Ghana Football Association today. It's come back to haunt us. Secondly, I've always maintained, and I'm sure Honorable here would agree with me, that the Black Stars as an entity can generate enough money to take care of all the other national teams and cater for the lower division leagues. Thirdly, if you go to England, the Premier League is a limited liability company. I don't understand why the PLB is part of the Ghana Football Association. Our league organizer should not have anything to do with the Ghana Football Association. Moving forward, let's have an independent, emphasis on independent, organization organizing the Ghana Premier League. The only reason we have Nyantechi going to negotiate contracts on his own, alone, for the Ghana Premier League is because of the situation that we have now. Let's have an independent league organizer that has nothing to do with the Ghana Football Association, with the FA only looking at the disciplinary aspect of the game and other issues that centers on the game. So these are key reforms that we need to have moving forward.
Honorable, you are in Parliament.
Yeah.
So what should we do?
Well, I'm going back to Parliament now. Yesterday, we gave opportunity for the members of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Youth, Sports and Culture to watch it. And I'm very sure they will be calling for an emergency meeting on what to do. Because I remember very well when I was having this running battle with the FA on the same thing. The current minister was a ranking member. And he hauled me before the committee to answer questions on why I was going on that tangent with them. So I think we will bring him to Parliament to answer same questions. But I agree totally with what my member. I think we have a holistic general reforms of the structure and the administration of the FA. We need to. Because from what George Ado said, if we don't change the constitution, the structure, the makeup of the FA as it is today, we will elect somebody who tomorrow will also go on the same tangent of power corrupts, absolute power corrupts, absolutely. That's exactly what Nyantechi has done, and today it has landed over. It got to a time when Nyantechi coughs, and that's the end of Ghana football. And so we need to sit down critically and say that, look, we've come this far. Lucky enough, we have close to 4 years to be in the wilderness.
Before the next World Cup.
And we really need
so we should take time at this time to do a very serious surgery on our football and then start building again before we get there. Nigeria did it. They suffered the consequences. But today, Nigeria is the World Cup. Their FA president was picked at the airport.
Wait, George, I'll come to you, but before that, a former Attorney General and Justice Minister, Maretta Brew-Opong-Appiah, also did watch the documentary yesterday, and she spoke to us afterwards.
Embarrassing, shocking. I mean, this sport is the passion of the nation, and then what happened at the tail end, I just don't get it.
And then what punishment would you suggest they give to them?
I'm not going to suggest any punishment. The authorities should watch it and then do what they ought to do. They should do the needful.
And that's Maretta Brew-Opong, who is a former Attorney General and Minister of Justice, speaking to us, having watched that documentary as it was premiered yesterday. George, I'm coming to you now to what the way forward is.
I want to look straight into this camera and tell the football people, crucially, club owners need to have a renewal of mind per what you have seen. Because after all the noise has been made, if you do not stand up and use the power you've got, we've got no business really sitting here talking about it. If nothing happens about it, we'll blame the football people who are responsible for voting these officials into it. And what's even worse, no Ghanaian will be interested in anything Ghana football. Next thing is we need to go to the constitution and get to work on it. I think we need to pull up the World Cup Commission of Inquiry, right the wrongs we had in 2014. We spent a lot of money on that and seem to move forward on that. And obviously, we have no business dealing with anybody yet now at the FA. No.
And that will be it for this conversation. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being here. Thank you, Nii Lante for making it. Obviously, because of this conversation, how heavy it has become and how worried all of us have been, we were unable to bring you our agenda for today. It will be on air in subsequent bulletins alongside the bed-bug infestation at the Tema Technical School, which has forced a shutdown effectively of boarding facilities. We do have a lot more news. Just log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Mama Vio Swabwaje. I'll see you sometime soon.